Hello, ladies and gentlemen on YouTube. My name is Mr. Maxwell, and welcome to a discussion.
Yeah.
About Star Wars.
I know.
We are going to see it.
Yeah.
On the 19th.
We are.
We're going to see it on the 19th when it comes out.
The Rise of Skywalker, which I'm trying to figure out, like, there is no Skywalkers.
Yeah, there's no Skywalkers left.
Luke's died.
Luke is dead. The last of the Skywalkers is gone. Unless it means, like, he's becoming one with the Force and does the Yoda thing.
Yeah, which, okay, but still.
It's not really the Rise of Skywalker.
No.
I think... Actually, we won't go there yet. Right, so what this is just us talking about what we think is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, what we hope is going to happen.
What we hope or think is going to happen in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
So, I've seen like 2 trailers. I've not seen that many. I've tried to keep away from
I think I've seen
most of them.
all of them, and
I've tried to keep
some
away
of it
from
is there's a couple of things that I'm like, oh, why are you doing it? Why are you doing this? There's no need. You've done this in the last film. You don't need to do it again.
So, let us start with where we are, where we got left off.
How we got to this point.
Yeah.
How we got to and why.
So we're going to start off with the Last Jedi.
Okay. Yeah, because I think everyone who's watching this probably understands, like, The Last Jedi was very controversial. It's one of the few films I've walked out of and instantly started picking plot holes in the plot.
See,
usually when I leave a film, I'm like, oh, because I'm the type of guy that will just sit there and like accept, like, okay, this is the way this film works.
Yeah.
Like, and The Last Jedi was the first one where I started picking plot holes in it, and not the ones that some people going on about, like the hyperdrive. Because spoilers, by the way.
You're a big Star Wars fan.
Yes.
I am not.
Yes.
I would say that. Now, I don't get angry at movies. I take movies for what they are. Even when they're bad.
Yeah.
I generally enjoy them. I just enjoy sitting in a cinema and watching a movie on a big screen with a big cup of Coke on the side and a bit of popcorn.
I don't think it's a cup.
It's not a cup. It's one of those carton things.
Yeah.
But The Last Jedi, there is one thing that I dislike, and it generally makes me angry in movies, is when their stories make absolutely no sense. And The Last Jedi, it was one of those movies where everything that happened in that movie made no sense. There was no sense for Poe to send the entire fleet at the start of the movie to attack one giant ship.
The entire fighter and bomber force of the Resistance.
There was no need for that.
The only militarily capable force the Resistance had. Poe sent the entirety of it to destroy one ship.
There was no sense in doing that.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no sense in keeping everybody in the dark about going to the planet that they were running to.
Yeah.
There's no sense in that.
They did that for artificial conflict.
Yeah.
That's what they did it for.
There's absolutely no sense in why they sent Finn and Rose to that planet.
Well, I'm going to basically, like, the thing is, that whole thing of like, oh yeah, we can tell exactly where they were jumping, thingamy-bob. It's
a MacGuffin.
Yeah, it's a MacGuffin. It is a MacGuffin because the thing is, in Star Wars, right? You didn't have like, it's not like when you jump into hyperspace. It's not like it's like warp. You see where they're going.
Yeah.
You see the direction. And you can extrapolate, people and crews members and ship crews can extrapolate based on direction and how fast they go into hyperspace. The direction they're going, and then they can correlate that with star charts and what planets are going at. They didn't need a fucking thing, and this is the thing, right? They didn't need a MacGuffin on a ship to say it's going to this point exactly.
That is very true.
They didn't need that. The only reason why they needed that is so that they could get Finn and Rose onto that planet, so they could have their political point put across.
Yes.
That was it. That was the only reason why that MacGuffin was there. But it makes no again, like I said, it made no sense. There was no need. One, right? The Supremacy wasn't there at the battle, so the Supremacy wasn't the ship that figured out where it went. Two, the entirety of the First Order fleet with the Supremacy jumped in from the exact same point. Now that means that the Supremacy jumped into system after the Resistance left. They then formed up and then jumped after them.
Yes.
Instead of just jumping straight after them.
Yes.
With the Supremacy coming in from a different and this is where, you know, militarily this would make more sense. Instead of the fleet that's there trying to take out the Resistance.
I'm just going to move the microphone because my PC is making a noise.
Ah, right. Yes,
Right.
it's probably being picked up. Apologies, the internet.
I do not.
This is not a professional
There
setup.
we go. I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking nonsense most of the time. It's fine. Anyway,
So, what would have made more military sense for the fleet that's chasing the Resistance to jump in behind them, and the Supremacy to come in from whatever position, in front of them, box them in and just blow them up.
yes. But then they wouldn't be the bad guys if they did that.
That is very
Because
true.
the bad guys are never smart.
So that was my one thing with the whole. Oh, they have this MacGuffin on the ship that can track where they. It's not needed. There's countless, even canonical books, not just legends. There's even canonical books that literally have people correlating like, they've jumped. This is where they left. This is the direction they're going. These are the systems they could end up at.
Yeah. Snork's death was probably the big thing for me was Snork.
To be perfectly honest, right, it still follows that Snork's death still follows the whole thing of like really cool bad guys that
Yeah,
they
but
do
was he a cool bad guy? We don't know.
If you think about like the way he like used his powers,
I mean, the things he did were pretty badass.
Were pretty badass. It's like this guy was like top notch Palpatine-esque level of dark.
Yeah, but that's my
dark
point.
Side force
That's my point. He's not just like Snork was not presented as Boba Fett was.
Yeah,
You know, as like
a General Grievous was.
or General Grievous and all that. Like
But
these
the thing is-
side bad guys who are just there.
who look really
Who look
cool.
really, really cool. Like he wasn't introduced that way. He was introduced to be the big bad.
That is very true. No, that's
And I'm fine with the fact that Kylo killed him. Like that's
It's
not
the
what my
it's the
problem
way-
is. It's the fact that he just kind of went out like an absolute doofus.
he became he started monologuing basically.
Yeah,
and,
and he's not the Emperor. That's the problem. It worked with the Emperor because he was
He's
the
the
Emperor.
Yeah.
And Snork, that's the other thing. Snork never gave off that sort of arrogance mentality.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't until that very bit.
Yeah, it was like, but a part of the problem is that you hardly saw him, apart from like his hollow introduction where he's talking to Kylo
And the Last Jedi, where he's on the ship.
when he's on the few
In his pajamas.
Yeah, in the few scenes when he's on his ship. But then when the stuff that they showed is him using his powers, like in the Last Jedi, where he doesn't force choke someone.
He throws them around.
He literally uses the force to push that arsehole to the ground. And I'm not going to use his name because he is terrible.
I actually don't know his name. I can't remember his name.
He's a terrible. To be perfectly honest, he's a
horrible.
terrible antagonist.
What I do know about him though is he plays the guy in Peter Rabbit. And I don't even remember that guy's name.
But no. My point is like he feels like the sort of role that you see in like Transformers with Starscream, the underling that is like always conniving, sniveling, and he doesn't really have a backbone. But whenever he's not inside, he'll have things like schemes and how to get control.
See, that's the problem with his character though. Like Starscream, yeah, he is a coward in that, but like you always looked at Starscream. Even now, you look at Starscream and go, if he gets that chance, that one chance, that's all he's waiting for.
You know, and
he'll take it.
Yeah, which he does in the movie. But
yeah, in this one,
this
guy just seems like he could get that chance, but he's gonna bottle it.
And then, like, I have to ask the question, like, why is he in the position he's in? Why is he there?
I feel like he is there. The character, he's there.
No. In military sense, right? Because he's the leader of the military force. Yeah. He's basically the head of the military for the First Order, and
he's a moron.
I look at that and go, "Are you kidding me? The captain of the Dreadnought was more capable than him." And he had like 3 lines. One of them being, "Why aren't we shooting him? Why aren't we launching fighters? Why aren't we shooting him?"
By the way, this isn't like a big giant rag on Star Wars, The Last Jedi. We're going to get to it. We need to explain. We need to talk about the points of the stupidity.
Yeah.
Because what needs to be fixed?
Yeah, this movie, The Rise of Skywalker, needs to fix a lot of things in The Last Jedi, and you can't really explain what you think is going to happen if you don't explain what happened in the last movie for it to do stuff to fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so you know, and then of course there's the fight. I mean, one of the scenes I really thought was like, okay, this is where they're gonna go. I'm not too displeased about that. Was after Rey and Kylo fight the pretend Imperial Guard.
That's awful.
Those awful people in red, because they're not the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard would have literally murdered everyone. You see them in like 3 scenes in Return of the Jedi.
No, I think you see them in 2. I think they're only in 2, and they look badass.
They don't do anything. They don't say anything. They just have this aura.
They stand there in one scene. They're just stood there, and then the next scene you see them in is when Palpatine's told them to leave, and you see them leave.
No, 3 scenes, because the scene where Palpatine's arrived on the.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and they're like his honor guards. Sort of thing. Yeah, but those guys gave off. They didn't do anything, but the aura they gave off was
the impression was like, if you sneeze in the wrong direction, that's it. You're gone.
You won't have time to realize you sneeze. You'll be dead.
You are dead.
Like, you know, that's like 1-on-1. Vader easily takes them. 4-on-1.
Yeah, they did. They gave off that appearance that even Darth Vader would have a little bit of problems.
Probably still win, but may have a bit of an issue.
And then he has to do, because when you think about it, like, if Darth Vader did decide to, like, no, I'm going to kill the Emperor, I'm going to take on the Emperor, right? He'd have to take on the guards first. He'd probably win, but he'd be one up. Then he has to fight Palpatine. Now Palpatine, he's not the best, but he is the only character up until. Yeah, actually, no, he's still the only character.
Yeah, if we're not counting the.
We're not counting the
games
because the games aren't canon.
Yeah.
So.
He's the only Force user we've seen
use Force lightning.
He's the only one that's used Force lightning.
So. Anyway, we're going off on tangents. Yeah. That will happen.
Tangents happen. We apologise, but they will happen. You're just gonna have to ride this train until it gets to.
Anyway, back to
Last Jedi.
Okay, so the things I liked about The Last Jedi, basically everything to do with Rey and Luke.
Yeah, I liked.
Apart from the fact that they turned Luke into a very bitter old man.
Yeah,
I didn't feel. Oh no, actually no, that's not what I didn't like about it. What I didn't like about it was the whole.
Luke...
I was afraid of Ben, so I was gonna kill him.
Yeah, his moment of weakness sort of thing.
Yeah, that felt like massively out of character.
Yeah, it was almost like, well, we're going to have to create conflict between Rey and Luke somehow, so this is how we're going to do it. And it was so...
Whereas they could have just organically done it with the whole fact that Luke found out the stuff about the Force.
Yeah, that the Force...
And he was bitter about it.
Yeah.
And he became a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
He was refusing... Because like half the time with Rey and Luke is Luke telling Rey to fuck off.
I don't want you here.
Yes.
I don't care. I'm not the one that you need to see, sort of thing. I'm the
Like, I don't do that anymore. I'm not a Jedi.
I'm
like,
done.
That sort of shit.
I'm done.
And I feel like that's where you can have your conflict there, because you can have Rey being like, "No, you're Luke Skywalker."
Yeah, you're Luke Skywalker,
You
the
are
hero,
like Luke
the
Skywalker.
hero of the New Republic. You are, you know, the last, the person who overthrew the Emperor, the
Hey,
person who ended the Empire.
You didn't need the whole thing with Luke trying to kill.
Yeah, it could have been literally like Luke confronted Ben regarding it, and that's what caused Ben to literally just like.
Because you could have had, literally had the exact. I mean, because you've already copied from the older movies anyway, so you could have literally just copied that Snork got to Ben.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have it like Ben. I always get the feeling that Kylo still loves Leia, like his mom. So have it that like you want to protect your mum. I can give the power. I can help you get the power to protect your mum, and that sort of deal.
Yeah, because
just do a whole Palpatine,
it wasn't
Anakin thing.
It wasn't needed, I think, and you saw it coming a mile away as well.
Yeah,
you saw it coming a mile away. So yeah, the Luke, Mark Hamill is a freaking
Mark Hamill's one of the best actors ever. I love
the fact that I walked out that film and we literally went, you know what? I can't say anything bad about Mark Hamill.
Like I said, if I'm honest, the Rey and Luke stuff, I liked it. I just felt it didn't. Yeah, Luke didn't need that whole "I tried to kill Ben" thing. It didn't feel right.
So,
as a characteristic thing.
Notice we've hardly touched upon Rey.
That's because there's nothing to touch upon.
Yeah, because
there's nothing there.
I think this is the biggest problem with the previous two movies, is that they've done an absolutely terrible job.
This is what this movie needs to solve.
It needs to explain why Rey is the way she is.
Is as powerful as she is, she's as good with the Force.
I don't mind the whole Force going, oh, there's too much light, so I need to empower the dark.
Yeah.
And there's too much dark, so I need to empower.
Like everybody calls her Mary Sue, right?
Yeah.
Which she is, but
because it doesn't explain why she's.
Like I've said, like I like Superman, right?
Yeah.
I like Superman. So having ridiculously overpowered characters isn't. I don't see it as
it's
that
not
bad.
a problem.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, but it has to explain.
I need some sort of like. She needs a character. She doesn't have any sort of character to her. There's nothing there.
And again, that's down to
because there's no backstory.
There's no backstory. There's no like reasoning as to why she is the way she is. There's just these like little snippets of, oh well, her parents abandoned her on Jakku. Why did they abandon her on Jakku?
Yeah. And
before anyone comes in the comments and says, oh well, Kylo told them, it's like the thing you have to take. The one thing that I liked about The Last Jedi regarding the Force was it showed that the dark side lies. The dark side always lies to you and says to you, and it's a theme that's also
it also
from the prequels.
It hides the truth because the prequels showed that as well. Because Anakin would saw the future, which was Padme dying.
Yeah, but it didn't show her how.
It didn't show her how.
It didn't show. Yeah, the dark side lies and manipulates you to get you to join and do what it wants. So the fact that Kylo's like telling her something that is a deep fear for her, that her parents weren't actually.
Well, they were nobodies. They were nobodies. They were junkies who just gave her up.
Yeah.
For nothing.
That
possibly could be just a lie.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, it's part of the problem is like it's like I said, it's done an extremely bad job of explaining and showing why things are the way they are. Like, for example, how big is the conflict between the Resistance and the First Order?
We have no idea.
Exactly.
I don't know. Although I would say it's pretty big, considering the fact that they blew up the Republic.
Well, yeah, I know, but the thing is, right. The Last Jedi literally takes place straight after.
Yeah.
The Force Awakens. Straight after, no gap. They literally ask victorious, and then they're like, we have to get the fuck out of here because they know we're here. So it's like a very short period of time. So like the Republic, the destruction of the Republic capital, which is not Coruscant. They moved it for some reason. Again, didn't explain to you in the movie. Which is, something. So like the First Order are literally like, now we need to take out the Resistance because they're the biggest threat. It doesn't explain why the Resistance is the biggest threat to the First Order. It should be the New Republic, because and I know like the books that are set between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens explains a lot of these things. Like Mon Mothma is more like, oh, can we just talk, and we don't need a giant military. Surely we can all get along. And a lot of the other like Moths and that haven't been dumb enough to follow Operation Cinder. Because, some of them are like, I've got a Super Star Destroyer. I'm not going to pay attention to this friggin' android. Would someone shoot him? Please. Because I do not want to use the effort to do it myself. It's like, but it doesn't explain the movies. The movies shouldn't assume that everyone who is watching this film has read the books. Because not everyone will have done that. And it does a terrible job of explaining, like, what the situation is, and they don't need a lot. It's not like you need like half the movie to be political, like the original the prequels were. It could be literally like 2-3 sentences, like in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Grand Moff Tarkin walks into the meeting room in
on the Death Star.
On the Death Star, and literally tells all the generals there, the Senate is no more. The Emperor has dissolved it. The Republic, the last vestige of the New Republic. The old Republic is gone. Literally, that you could literally have like in conversations between Rey and Finn, like they said why the First Order is a real problem, because the Republic has got too many things on its hands. It's got a war of the warlords to deal with and all that. Could easily have done it, but they didn't. I think that's where a lot of the problems are stemming from. That. It gives off the impression that the First Order is all that's left of the Empire. Yeah, that's what the movie gives off. Yeah, there's nothing left of the Empire other than the First Order, and the Resistance, which for the life of me I still can't figure out why they're called the Resistance. Because they like the name.
Because they're not resisting against anything. They're not. Like, technically, if you think about it, what they are doing is they're protecting the Republic. Yeah. They are clearly a group associated with the Republic. Yes. Like, that's clearly what they are. Yes. And yet they're the Resistance. You're the ones in power.
So there's all these problems that this movie has to now fix.
Unfortunately, that stuff's not going to get fixed.
It's not going to fix everything. I understand that.
It's not going to get fixed. The main things that I think we're gonna get fixed. Rey is gonna get fixed. Hopefully, Rey has to get fixed because for me personally, her blandness of like no real story to her is the biggest problem.
And this is the thing. Before anyone says anything, that's down to the script. I think.
Yeah, that's the script.
There's nothing in regards to the way she's acted.
Daisy. What's a bloody name? I know it's Daisy Ridley. I
honestly think she's done a bad job.
She's done quite well. I've enjoyed her acting. I just, like I said, I think the character is bland.
Yeah, there's nothing to her. She hasn't had like a character arc per se. She hasn't grown. She hasn't developed. She hasn't had anything to force her to adapt or change the way she...
I think for the script, what they did was they fell into the trap of, let's make her the every person. So that the viewer can put themselves in her situation.
Yeah, but we don't have the Force.
Yeah, that's my sort of thing.
That's the problem. It's like, well, what would we do if we had the Force? Well, one, I wouldn't be able to mind.
I would not be a Jedi.
Yeah,
I would be an asshole if I had the Force. I think 99% of people out there, if they had the Force, they would be an absolute dick.
Yeah. But
just because they could.
It doesn't. Yeah, and But yeah, I like you say, they need to fix her. They need to
She's the big thing.
focus on her and why, and basically focus on why she is the way she is and why she does the things she does.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping from some of the trailers, it does seem like it potentially could be going that way.
Yeah.
Especially if my theory, which I'll get onto in a second, is correct. If they do focus on her and like have this whole thing of like, because in the trailers she's like saying, I don't know why I'm here, what I'm supposed to do, what is my purpose. I don't have a purpose. Why? Which is true, to be honest. She's just been following events. You know, she's not been like she's not like driven to do the things that she's been doing. She's just been along for the ride. She doesn't, you know, it's not her that decides to go to the Resistance. It's because she picks up BB-8. She doesn't go to Luke Skywalker because she wants to go to Luke Skywalker.
She gets told to by Leia.
She gets told to.
No, she gets told to by that woman at the bar.
Yeah.
Where she finds the lightsaber.
Yeah, she gets told to. Very few of her actions have actually been like herself driving herself to do this. I think the only one was like to go and try and save Kylo.
Yeah.
I think it was like, well, he's the grandson of Anakin. Anakin was saved.
He's the son of Han.
Han, yeah.
And she had that sort of like connection with Han.
Yeah.
In the first one.
But also it's like, you know, well, Luke saved his father.
Yeah.
And his father was Darth Vader, and Darth Vader was like, you know, if you think about what Darth Vader was, he should never been able to come back.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, if Luke can save his father, Anakin Skywalker, I might be able to bring Ben back because I know
there's light there.
I know there's like light there. I know that there's he's not fully dug onto the dark side. So I think that's the only thing in the two movies that she's done fully through on her own tuition, her own driving force has been. But apart from that, there's been very little.
I have a bad feeling about Kylo Ren in this movie, mainly because of the trailer I've seen. We've obviously Palpatine.
Yeah, Palpatine is back.
Somehow back.
It's somehow back. Whether he's just a Force ghost or if he's got a clone or something like that, he's back.
So the problem with that is that the last movie made Kylo the big bad.
Yeah.
They turned him into the big bad.
Yeah, the whole thing of like, we need to burn everything to the ground.
We want to burn everything to the ground.
Started
it's
again.
all gonna, and now, so in this one, because you brought Palpatine back, and everybody knows
Palpatine.
Everybody knows Palpatine. Kylo's gone back to being the second guy, like the right-hand man.
He's gone back to being. And then another thing in the trailer is that it seems like him and Rey are fighting alongside together again, and I'm like, but you've done that before. You did it in the last movie, and you basically went, oh, are they gonna is Ben gonna be saved? And then decided, no, he's not. He's fully committed to his course of action.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, that was the one thing at the end of the movie that I went, I'm looking forward to how this plays out, because it was a clash of ideologies of Kylo basically going, I'm going to burn everything down. I'm going to we're basically going back to square one, wipe everything from existence and begin all over again. And Rey being, no, you can't do that. Yes, this galaxy is not perfect, but you can't just wipe everything out, because there is actually some good. And if you do just wipe everything out, you will end up repeating the mistakes that would led to this in the first place. You can't do, and that clash of ideologies is really interesting. It's a really good, hook for like, ooh, how is this going to play out?
Have a good fight.
Yeah, and bringing back Palpatine is just like,
I do feel like it's going to set up the next movie.
Possibly.
I do feel like that's literally what Palpatine's in there for, is to set up the next one.
Yeah, possibly.
This is the end of the Skywalker saga, as they say, which, to be fair, it's not. These movies are not a part of the Skywalker. At least I don't think they
I
are.
want to class it. This is Rey's story.
Because Force Awakens has absolutely nothing to do with anybody
Of the Skywalker name.
of the Skywalker.
Apart from Ben. The only connection is Ben Solo.
Yeah, and Leia.
And Leia. Because the
but
descendants of Anakin
they don't have the Skywalker name. So
yeah, it's and in The Last Jedi, Luke
dies.
Luke dies, and basically it's just like this mentor role. He's not really.
So other than the fact that maybe Rey takes up the Skywalker name,
yeah. To which it's like so I don't know.
To which I'm not that. I don't want to say bothered because I am slightly bothered about it, but I'm not as like
Oh no, it's not like
I don't really.
Like you say, I don't think these three movies don't actually feature like the Anakin family.
Yeah, the Skywalker name doesn't really feature.
Not much.
In these, there's nothing really driving it around. But saying that, Kylo Ren needs to be fixed because Kylo Ren just, for fuck's sake, man. You started off so goddamn cool, and you fell so fast down that goddamn tree.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
They nosedived him so badly. The thing is like you've said to me before, the death of Leia would have been a perfect catalyst for him killing Snoke.
Yeah, because honestly, if you watching that movie, because I've watched it again, he kills Snoke because Snoke sort of belittles him a little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
Because he feels like Snoke calls him a name.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason why Snoke dies.
If they'd actually written Leia out when she got sucked into space instead of doing that awful scene,
Superman scene,
of like somehow keeping herself alive with the Force, and then flying back into the ship.
Yeah.
And then.
Because they're killing all the bloody old characters off anyway.
Yeah, Luke's dead. Han
died.
Dead.
So, fuck it, just kill Leia.
They've hardly used R2-D2.
Use Leia's death as
the catalyst for.
Yeah, use Leia's death as something big.
It would have given him a valid. I mean, I'm not saying his reason wasn't valid, but it would give him a much more grounded and actual easy to follow and better understandable reason to do what he did to Snoke. To basically wait until Snoke's fully engaged with Rey and then go, right, now's my chance.
I've got you.
Dead. Because it's I love, despite what I love my mother and you took that away from me.
Yeah.
Right? And it then gives another whole thing of he has nothing left in this world to hold on to, which reinforces his belief of
let's burn it all down.
It's I've got nothing left in this world, so why should I try and hold on to any of this? It's no, I'm going to burn it all to the ground and rebuild from scratch. It would have made it much easier.
Yeah, I think he needs I really, really hope they don't try and do let's turn him into a good guy at the end. I really hope they don't do that with him. Because they've done that now. They've basically snuffed that out.
Yeah, they've tried that, and he committed himself to this course
He's
of action.
snuffed that little bit of good out.
Yeah, he doubled down on it. No, I'm not joining the light side. I'm not joining the resistance. I am now the de facto leader of the First Order, and I'm going to do this my way.
So I'm hoping he doesn't they don't decide. Let's turn him into a good guy right at the end. What
I think, and I'm going to go into my theory now with Rey. What I think is that with Kylo being a descendant of Anakin Skywalker and Luke, and relative to Luke Skywalker, we were so so much connected to the light side of the Force, Luke, and Ben Solo joining the dark side, it would be really powerful. I think Rey becoming so powerful for the light, I think she's related to Palpatine.
It's possible.
And this makes a lot more. The reason why I believe this is because she does a lot of things without any training, without any knowledge of how to use the Force, and yet she's able to, which maybe she wasn't abandoned on Jakku because her parents just abandoned her there. A lot of things make a lot more sense if she's related to Palpatine, because in the stories, I don't know if these are canon or not, but in Legends, the books basically stated that, like, yeah, Palpatine was emperor and he lived like an emperor, so he had a bunch of concubines. I mean, to be perfectly honest, he is the most powerful person in the galaxy. I don't think a woman would be, even if a woman wanted to say no to him, it wouldn't end well.
No.
Not that I condone it. I'm just saying, is like,
he was an emperor.
He was an emperor. There would be some women attracted to that sort of thing, but then there'd be some women that would probably not there. But
yeah.
But anyway, getting into a bit dark material. But anyway, but it would also explain why Rey has that like draw to the dark side. Like the dark side is calling to her.
Yeah.
In The Last Jedi, it is literally like, "Hey, I know you.
Hello.
I can tell you stuff."
Also, it might also explain why she doesn't seem to really mind.
Yeah,
she's
not afraid of the dark side.
She just like jumped in.
Yeah, she's not afraid of the dark side. It makes sense because if like, I'm trying to figure out how old do you think she was when she was left on Jakku?
I think
I'm pretty sure.
I think she was
I think she did say it's
I think she was like. She was definitely, I would say, in the double digits.
So
I would
like
say
10, 12.
10 to 12.
So if that's the case, right, and she's the daughter of Palpatine.
Although actually, if she doesn't remember her mum or any of her parents, maybe she was younger.
Well, this
so
is
maybe 6.
Yeah, so say 6. But
6,
even
5.
still, right, at a 6-year-old, a daughter of Palpatine, the Inquisition would have had her undergoing training by then as a Force user.
Yeah.
Maybe not enough for her to remember it, but enough so that she can actually like realize.
Especially if they do the same thing to the Inquisitors as they do to Stormtroopers. So they indoctrinate them. So they like wipe
well,
their
yeah,
mind.
of course she'd be indoctrinated.
Yeah.
The daughter of Palpatine from birth should be bloody bombarded with all the things of like, this is the way the world is and way it should be.
No, I mean like what they do with
just turn her into like a
just straight up like
into
sort their brain
order.
out. Yeah.
Possibly
Rank
they
and
could do.
Because I can't really see Palpatine being exactly happy that he has a child.
It depends. If someone's strong in the Force, he'd be ecstatic.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd... although Anakin, they could tell Anakin was strong in the Force when he was like, what? How old was he in Phantom Menace? 6? So, yeah, it's possible.
But again, like I say, a lot of the things with Rey, if you put this whole thing of like she's related to Palpatine and has a connection to the dark side of the Force, a lot more things make sense than just her being, oh well, she's just awesome.
she's fantastic.
She can do these Force things because she's awesome, and it's like no, but and I think it's a shitty thing to like throw this in the third movie without any lead up.
Yeah.
I probably would have like had little hints of it in the first film. In like when they did the flashbacks, I would have literally had an image of Palpatine in there hidden. That's what I would have done in those flashback images, like what seemed to be flash forward images as well. When she grabbed
we'll get onto the flash forward stuff.
Anakin's.
We'll get onto that stuff in a moment.
Yeah, when she grabbed Anakin's lightsaber, there was a whole bunch of images. Some of them happened after that event, after she picked it up. But it, I would have like hid it in there, and then like the whole thing of like the dark that congregation of dark force on the planet Luke's on.
Yeah.
I would have had something to do with the Palpatine there, just hidden away, not open in up front, because obviously
I don't know. I think I would have had. You heard his voice.
Yeah, be the voice. That's the voice calling to her.
Yeah, that's what you hear. I
But
think that's
muffled.
what I would.
I wouldn't like I say, I wouldn't because that's if it is that she's related to Palpatine, that's going to be the big reveal in this movie. That's going to be the big oh my.
I have a feeling that she's gonna I've seen a theory that she's actually a clone.
That's stupid.
Which I really hope it's not. I would prefer it if she is a daughter.
Yeah. She's old enough to be one.
Aye.
It would make sense why they abandoned her on Jakku.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's the daughter of Palpatine and when Coruscant falls and the Republic comes in, I guarantee you the first people finding her would not be the
they're gonna Game of Thrones that shit.
Yeah, they wouldn't be your Miss Majestic Mon Mothma or Admiral Akbar or anyone of that sort of caliber that would go. No, she's a prisoner. We will debrief her. We'll see what she's like. No, the people that would have found her would have been just your run-of-the-mill, ordinary yes sir, no sir troops, and probably a few hardline Rebel Alliance people, and they would have just flat out shot her.
Yeah,
that's what they would have done. Because they would have gone, wait, this is Palpatine's girl? Bang!
Dead. Anyway, yeah.
So that makes sense. Them literally whoever she was in care of, literally going, shit, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Shit, I need to dump her the first possible opportunity. And it then also explains why she has this connection to the Force, why she's not afraid of the dark side, why it seems to also call to her, and why she just she doesn't have.
She's just able to do things.
She's able to do certain things because if she's been trained from very, very young,
and she just doesn't
in
remember.
a really, really intense training program. Yeah, she may not remember it, but subconsciously it's there. Okay, so I need to do this, so this is how I go and do it.
Yeah,
and it makes
it muscle memory.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
Jason Bourne.
And that sort of thing would fix an awful lot of things that happened to her. And then again, it brings up this whole conflict within her. As well, my father is now this awful, awful human being.
And I'm actually
and I really wanted to find out who my parents were. Kylo told me this one thing which was actually a deep.
Yeah, it could be
was a deep-rooted fear.
Yeah.
And then I found out that this person's and he's an awful human being.
I mean, I know that sucks. What's worse? Which one's worse?
It gives a lot of conflict though for her to deal with. And it does run a chance of actually mending a lot of those missteps.
Yeah, because you can go back to the other movies and go,
Yeah, it makes those movies. So that's why this was out. So this is why, and also this is why she's able to fucking actually not get killed instantly by Kylo with that lightsaber battle because she's had some training in it. She's actually being trained in it. A lot of these things do actually make sense now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I'm worried that they're not going to do that. That they're going to.
I think it's going to be. I've got a weird feeling it's just going to be. They're going to stick with the whole her parents were junkies and just dumped her. I think they're just gonna. I don't think that we're gonna get a decent backstory for her.
Yeah, which is the thing is
a shame because she's the main character.
Yeah, she's the main protagonist. She's the main protagonist, and she has no backstory.
Yeah.
She has no backstory of why she is that, and it's she's not a computer character. She's not a computer game character, which is you can put yourself in and act out the way you would act. She's the main protagonist of a story. And there's nothing to explain why she's driven, why she does the things she does, and why she's doing the things she does. And it means that there's a disconnect between. There's nothing to ground her, in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's oh yeah, it's all nice and good to say, well, she's the every person because everybody can be great, and that's good to a point. But the problem is you want to compare her. She will always be ended up compared to Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
And the thing is Luke Skywalker's story arc was much better done.
Well, if you honestly think about it,
his was
his
humble.
is your generic
Farm boy, humble beginning hero that goes up
and becomes the hero of the world.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's your generic fantasy.
Yeah.
Hero story. It's the same thing, but the reason why it's used that often is because it works. That type of story works.
It's like Luke's, and it does a lot of things with Luke better than it did. That it's done with Rey.
Like Luke
it
starts
explains a lot of things. It's like Luke.
Luke starts off. The only
humble little
thing,
farm boy.
The only thing Luke can do is fly a X-wing really well. That's literally all Luke can do, because he was he
used to fly Beggar's Canyon in a
one of those little hover bloody car things. Yeah, that's it. That's literally all he was good at. Everything else, where he just did on a bloody whim, and by the seat of his pants managed to get through the skin of his teeth.
But he wasn't like awesome. He wasn't like all conquering, could do anything. He almost gets killed by a sand raider. He barely gets out of the Death Star alive.
This is becoming a more of a talk about how good Luke is and
how bad Rey is. But you can't talk about Rey.
I know.
Without showing like why people aren't happy with Rey without explaining because she's in comparison to Luke. Like Luke was the main protagonist of the original trilogy, and Rey's taken this mantle, and they've done a terrible job. Like I say, it's nothing to do with the acting. It's the script writing has been poor. And it's down primarily to the fact that it does not explain why Rey is the way she is. It doesn't explain any of it. And heaven forbid we talk about bullying Poe Dameron.
We're not talking about Poe Dameron.
Because you don't think he's an actual main character.
He's not a main character. He is not a main character. I don't care what anybody says. He's the leader of the Resistance. Now go fuck off. No, he's not. He is a second-rate Reg Antilles, right? And Reg Antilles
was not a main character.
He was there in almost all the big scenes that he needed to be in.
Yep.
But he was not.
Death Star Trench Run, Battle of Hoth, and Battle of Endor. Space Battle.
But he's not a main character.
Yeah.
And neither is Poe. And this is my problem with Poe, because Poe at no point in any of the movies has he ever given off that sort of impression that yes, he's part of the main group, and he doesn't give that. His character is he's Finn's friend. That's it.
And he's a fighter jock.
That is it. That's all Poe Dameron is. And we're going to move on from Poe. I don't want to talk about him. We're now going to talk about the thing that really, really, really upsets me.
Go on.
That's the Knights of Ren.
Ah, yes, that one little image in the.
So that one image in I think it was a trailer, and it's in the Force Awakens where she does the little. She touches the lightsaber.
It's a scene. The scene where the image where she touches the lightsaber of her, and it is her looking at Kylo and the Knights of Ren in a V formation behind him. It is her against 7 dudes.
Yeah.
Or dudes and dudettes. They're it's her in a massive outnumbered position.
I don't think that happens in the movie. I think that's just in the trailer. In the movie, I'm sure she touches the thing, and then she's in something that looks like a docking bay, and then she turns around and it's all smoky, and then just lightsabers come out.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Right?
Right. The thing is that is that scene from the trailer. I'm pretty much sure of it.
Okay.
Right. And I'm because it's multiple red lightsabers.
Yes, right. So I heard that, and when I heard that it was the Knights of Ren, I was like, "Ooh, this sounds cool." And then when you first hear about Kylo Ren, right, the way they described him was that he was somebody who was obsessed with Darth Vader. So I'm like, okay, so we've got this guy called Kylo Ren who's obsessed with Darth Vader, and he has a group that's with him. he has his knights.
He has the Knights of the Ren.
Knights of Ren, which sounds
like,
even cooler.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, obviously, I've not. It's not. This is before we've seen The Force Awakens, because obviously the whole fact that he's actually Ben Solo hasn't been revealed and all that shit. So at the time, I was thinking, okay, so we've got a guy
who's obsessed with Darth Vader.
He's got a cult.
Yeah.
He's got a cult, and like I was like, if there's one thing that Star Wars hasn't done,
cult
is a cult. And a whole, like, Darth Vader is the perfect sort of character to be immortalized as a god to people.
No, not even like as a god, but as like a savior person for certain aspects, because of the way the Empire portrayed him.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, that's really, really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously they just didn't go that way.
No.
For some bizarre reason. And my biggest disappointment with the Knights of Ren is the fact that, one, they generally, like, when you hear, especially of what you heard about Kylo Ren before The Force Awakens, when you think about them, like, it does kind of give off this sort of, I was expecting they were, like, going to be whoever the big bads,
elite god.
They were basically going to be his elite group, not just god. Like, if there was something that needed doing like quick, fast, and in a hurry, those were the people that
needed done. If something needed doing and you did not care,
so sort
about
of like if there was like Rebels does this really well with Darth Vader, right? So the Rebels go into like a base, they're doing the mission, and then the Jedi guy who's blind, I think in this episode, he feels a disturbance in the Force. He instantly knows, we gotta go. Like, we are not standing around to fight this. We are getting the fuck out.
We're not even arguing about it.
There's no arguments. We are leaving now. Right?
To quote Captain Price, we are leaving.
Yeah. So, and then you see Darth Vader in that scene, and you go, that's why he's getting out. That's what I thought the Knights of Ren were going to be. Like, if they're like, there's going to be a moment in a movie, in one of these movies, where they're going to be like, no, we got to get out of here. We're not standing around anymore. And then we just see a group of people dressed in black, all with masks on, maybe different sort of symbols on their masks and all that sort of stuff. And that's what the impression of what I got, because I always thought that Kylo Ren, I always thought that Kylo Ren was going to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So he was always going to be the guy, not the main bad guy.
But the threat.
The last,
he was
the guy before the final dude.
Yeah.
Before the big boss. So, and I thought they were going to be his. So, and then obviously that one line ruined it for me. The last of the Knights of Ren. I was like, come on! Because we've not even ever seen Inquisitors in a movie.
Yeah.
We've never seen Inquisitors in a movie. Inquisitors have been in games, books, and the TV series, like Rebels and that. But they've never been in a movie. And I thought, well, these could be like super elite Inquisitors, if you think about it.
To be perfectly honest, if there was any of the groups that were going to be like saved by Palpatine's or a purge, it would have been his Inquisitors. Because they're only going to be in that position because of their undying loyalty and ability to be able to do what he wants them to do. And this is the thing. It's like them being the hierarchy of the First Order would have made much more sense.
Because you could have one, having Kylo in charge of like the elite group, one that makes him look even more of a badass.
Yeah.
Right. Because if these guys are this good. Yeah. How good is Kylo?
Yeah.
Right? You can be like that.
We're still talking really about the previous films.
We're still talking about the previous films, I know. But the thing, the Knights of Ren are apparently in the new one. So I'm not happy about it. How long is this
movie going to be? It needs to be like 4 hours long to fix.
I think it is 4 hours long. I think it's
really.
I think it's like 3.5. By the looks of things, when I looked up when I was getting the tickets, it's about 3.5. But anyway, you could have saved Kylo looking like a whiny bitch by just having the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a whiny bitch and in charge of a fucking elite squad.
I don't understand why they had him be the way that he was. Especially, it was like, and it's not like him losing his rag when they told him about
I think they wanted. I think they really
was...
wanted to push that he's not like Darth Vader, who has a little bit of light left in him. There's still light there, so there's still. I think they really wanted to push that, like, he is in between. He's still in between.
Yeah.
He's not 100% dark side, 100% light side, or anything. Like, he's literally in the middle.
Yeah,
so
fighting himself.
He's constantly fighting himself. I think they tried. That's what they were trying to portray.
Didn't execute it
and
well.
it didn't go what they thought it would. He clearly just comes off like Anakin Skywalker
without the arrogance.
Without the arrogance or the fact that, you know, Anakin was talented.
Yeah.
Where Ben doesn't. I mean, I know they keep saying that he's talented.
He's not actually done anything
other than when he stopped the laser blast,
which is still one of the coolest moments I've seen.
Still, yeah, it's the most badass thing I've seen in a Star Wars movie. But other than that, he hasn't done anything. If you think of the things that he's done. He got shot by Chewbacca and survived, which is also pretty badass.
Considering the fact that they shown the Boltcaster literally blowing people up.
Like, and all that did was like knock him back a couple of steps, and then he was like hobbling as he walked away.
Yeah.
Right. He then fought Finn and Rey.
Yeah.
And lost. Which you can say he had been shot. We're not arguing that, but
right.
That's what happened.
No. Right. The fight with Finn, they did that wrong. What they should have done was like...
Oh, Finn should have just had his ass kicked.
Yeah, Finn as a non-force user should have just been obliterated. But not killed, because that would be later
just
on.
like one sort of bat away, Finn goes flying, hits a tree, he's knocked out.
No, not even that. He just but Kylo starts playing with him. It's like, you are not a challenge. Why should I even... put effort in. You know what? I'm going to make this fun for me.
We're digressing off again. He lost against Finn and Rey.
Yeah.
Right. He then, in The Last Jedi, he has a connection through Snork to Rey.
Yeah.
Where they chime.
Yeah. But also his one thing he does in the battle is he pilots into the what looks like the Radis is a weird ship if you think about it, right? It has a flight deck and it has a throughfare for the ships to come in and out, and you think, oh no, that makes sense, but in one sense, no, it doesn't, because the ships now have to lift off, move into the the launch area, and then take off instead of like what you see with most, where it's just
how long were we in talk?
Probably quite a while. We'll find out.
Does
it doesn't.
Because I don't think
Obs doesn't tell you.
Oh god, damn! Because I don't think we have enough footage to cover for how long we've been talking.
It's fine. Anyway. You just loop it. It's just it's just the background. It's Empire. It's just background footage.
Anyway, so we have that.
Mm-hmm.
We have the bit where he doesn't shoot the ship with his mother in.
Yeah.
We have that scene. And then one of the TIE fighters behind him blows it up and all that sort of stuff. We have that. Then he kills Snork, which I think him killing Snork is the biggest thing he's done.
Yeah.
Up till now. And
even then, that's against a distracted Snork, and all he does is activate the lightsaber that's next to Snork.
He kills Snork, and then he teams up with Rey to kill the guards.
Yeah.
Which is just... I'm not even... Again, we're not getting on with that. And then he goes down and fights Luke Skywalker, which in turn, really, if you think about it, he lost.
Yeah.
He didn't win.
Because Luke wasn't there.
He
fought a person that was only there in the Force.
And which the way they portray Kylo, or at least they've tried to portray Kylo, is that he knows how to use the Force.
Yeah.
So how the fuck did he not tell that that's not Luke Skywalker?
That Luke Skywalker wasn't actually wasn't physically there.
He should have been able to tell.
It's like, okay, Leia, Rey, possibly no, Rey wasn't there. But like Leia is not. I mean,
it's clearly
it's this contradiction. Like Leia's not.
She is Force sensitive.
She is Force sensitive.
She doesn't know how to use it.
But
she
then
doesn't know.
she's able to keep herself alive. Like, she's able to make basically a force bubble strong enough to contain enough air to keep her in.
I know. But I've always got the impression that Leia is force sensitive. She just doesn't know how to use it.
She hasn't had the training.
Because we've never seen her get trained.
But the point I'm making is like that one scene where she somehow survives.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make... One, it doesn't
makes no sense.
The amount of force power needed to do that...
Yeah. I know.
Anyway.
This is why we're not talking about that. So yeah, Kylo really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Not of massive importance.
Like, by... like I said, Rey's comparison is Luke. Kylo's comparison is Vader. What Vader's done by the end of the third movie is beat Luke Skywalker.
No, he didn't just beat Luke Skywalker. He kicked his ass.
Right? He beat Luke Skywalker, captured Han Solo, stopped a blaster bolt with his hand.
Yep.
Basically conquered Bespin City.
Killed Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Killed Obi-Wan Kenobi. Commanded the fleet that literally destroyed the Hoth base.
Yep.
Force choked three
people.
3 people to death.
He force chokes one person in...
Yeah, he force chokes... Yeah.
He nearly kills the other guy, but Grand Moff Tarkin gets him to stop.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Um,
And then in Empire Strikes Back, he force chokes...
I think 2 people. One on another ship.
Yep.
And one on his ship.
One on his ship, the captain of the ship that lost the Millennium Falcon, who went personally to inform Lord Vader.
Yeah.
Poor life choice.
Poor life choice.
Although, to be perfectly honest, I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah, he really wouldn't have. But yeah, Vader up to the end, he was like, oh Jesus Christ, how is Luke actually going to fight this guy?
Yeah, it's like Vader literally, like, he lived up to the moniker of like the #1 badass in the galaxy. Kylo hasn't.
Kylo hasn't. The other thing is, because they haven't really gone about like this is a big scale thing, we can't tell if Kylo is universally known. Right? Yeah. We don't know if he's like, if everyone in the universe is like, shit, it's Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
You know? Unlike Vader, like the moment you see Vader, you know that everyone is frightened of this person. It doesn't matter where they are frightened.
It's like when Leia. It's like when Leia is brought to him and he goes, "Ah, oh, Lord Vader."
But with Kylo, again, that's not portrayed.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And I think that's the thing. To fix what this movie needs to do, they need to explain a lot of things. It needs to actually explain things.
Yeah, anyway. I think we'll not wrap it up yet. We're going to actually talk about what we think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to... Because we've gone on too many tangents, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens.
Right, so this is what I think. Rey and everybody, obviously because of the trailers, they go to Endor.
There's been they've gone to Endor at some point. There's gotta be a time gap between.
Yes, there has to be a time
The Last
gap
Jedi
between the 2 movies
and The Rise of Skywalker. There has to be a gap because there is no resistance.
Yeah, there is no resistance. There's the small group of people that could fit on the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, that's it. So there's definitely going to be a time gap. Right. So here we go. Rey, at least Rey. And I'm assuming
Finn?
BB-8, because BB-8... was it BB-8? No, it's Chewbacca. So, Rey and Chewbacca, they're going to go to
Endor.
Possibly Endor. Right?
But
that's where they are for the minority of the movie.
I think they go to Tatooine first. Because there's that bit with her in the desert and she's running. And
that might be a... Oh no, yeah, she's got a flat...
Yeah, she flips over the Kylo
so,
ship.
maybe they go to Tatooine.
I think because Anakin's born there, Luke isn't, but Luke grew up there. So I think she goes there. I think that she goes there, and Kylo follows her because Rey's obviously the threat to what Kylo wants to do.
Yeah.
So
right, so they go to Tatooine for whatever reason. I'm gonna assume it has something to do with the Skywalker name.
yes,
Is why Rey's gone to Tatooine.
yeah,
Kylo's followed them to kill her. That's fine. We have a little skirmish. She jumps over the TIE fighter. Is it a TIE fighter that they're in?
it's
whatever
TIE.
Whatever they're in. Whatever it is
called?
they're in.
TIE of Silence.
She does that scene from the trailer. They get off Tatooine. They run away. They go. Finn and that are also on another planet.
Yeah.
They're not with Rey.
Yeah.
And they're doing stuff for the Resistance.
Yeah.
So they are
Or the
doing,
Republic.
Or the Republic.
Because one of the scenes is a Republic, a Imperial Star Destroyer in Republic colours. Yeah. So obviously, like, they're going to retcon the whole thing of like the Republic's dead.
Yes.
They're going to retcon that because there's going to be a massive space battle. And I think the one thing I'm really disappointed in is like all the ships we've seen are from the original trilogy.
Well, of course they are.
Y-wings, A-wings, old X-wings.
I like the
X-wings,
yeah.
and I like the new X-wings they showed in
Force
Awakens.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this is really it's like an understandable advancement on the X-wing design.
I like the bit in the trailer where it's the Y-wing doing all those twists and turns, and it's just like, nah, Y-wing
couldn't do
Y-wing
that.
can't do that. They're so goddamn slow.
Y-wings are from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They were made in the Clone Wars. They are so antiquated. They're literally like cannon fodder now. That is it. They are so slow. It's the reason why Y-wings look the way they do in the original trilogy and in this new movie, because all the armor they had has been stripped away to try and make them go as fast as possible, because they are so slow. They are so cumbersome.
Yeah.
They are literally. It's the reason why the B-wings were built, because they had to replace the Y-wings.
Anyway, back to this. So we leave Tatooine. Rey is drawn to Endor because of that giant piece of the Death Star.
It's the remains of Palpatine.
Yeah, it's the remains of Palpatine. Rey gets drawn to Endor. That's why she goes.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I think we're gonna have literally a repeat of the Return of the Jedi. We are gonna have a land battle on Endor, and we're gonna have the space battle is above Endor because Kylo is gonna follow them.
Yeah.
And
then this magic fleet of Imperial Star Destroyers is going to show up.
We're going to have... basically, what I think is going to happen is Kylo is going to send everything to Endor. We're going to have what's left of the Resistance, because obviously with the time gap, they'll have at least maybe grown a little bit.
I think the Resistance will have grown, but more importantly, they'll have joined joined the Republic.
Their fleet will appear at Endor.
Yeah.
After Kylo's fleet.
Yeah.
And then after that's when we start seeing the Republic fleet. Yeah. They appear behind the Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So we now have. So this is why Finn. So Finn, Rose. I can't remember if Poe was there in the trailer on Endor, but I know Finn and Rose were in the trailer. BB-8 was in the trailer.
Oh, Tatooine. C-3PO is going to die.
Yes, Tatooine C-3PO is going to die. I mean, why they're killing C-3PO off, I have literally no idea why. They could literally just be like... Because, like, he was barely in The Force Awakens. He was barely in The Last Jedi. So, just, I don't know, just leave him on Tatooine. Why are you killing him?
Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah, because that's that scene in the... What are you doing, 3PO? I'm taking one last look at my
friends.
I mean...
Tear in the eye there. Tear in the eye. Nobody cares about C-3PO. Anyway, right? So we get basically the main cast on Endor. Kylo has gone down with, let's say,
the Knights of Ren.
His Knights of Ren. He's gone down to Endor to meet them, which is why they are fighting.
Yeah.
Because I know they fought on a ship, or what seems to be like a part of a ship, and it's all warrior.
Well, that
could be Endor.
Could be there's the scenes of them like lightsabing through a statue.
Yeah. Again, that could be something to do with, like, you know, when Snork had them. That could be the same thing. It could be that. But anyway, so all of them all of them are on Endor. We've got our main cast.
Somehow during the fight, Rey and Kylo get separated.
Yes.
And Rey ends up in front of Palpatine.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yes. And then this is where we find out Palpatine's big plan to come back.
Yeah.
And I think Palpatine is actually going to come back. Like, full on, new body, new person, like, new, basically a clone.
Clone body, like
clone body.
Basically like they did in the
Legends.
In the Legends.
Pretty much in everything outside of the main canon now.
Yeah. How
Palpatine came back. Pretty much that.
Yeah.
So,
which is, which boggles the mind when which boggles the mind when someone says, "Oh, there's no source material." It's really hard to make a Star Wars film because there's no source material.
And that sets up the next 3 movies. Rey finally finds out who she is.
Yeah.
Where she comes from and all this stuff. You could even have it be like, yeah, she is the daughter of Palpatine, and she's like, nope, not having any of that. I am out. See you later, guys. Bye. I want none of this.
She has a moment of crisis.
For me, Kylo has to die.
Yeah, he's the big bad. In a sense, he's the big bad. He's the leader of the...
I mean, I don't even mind if it's like... Palpatine comes back and Palpatine's like, yeah, you are literally nothing. You're not even anywhere close to Vader. And Palpatine just like kills him like that. At the end,
I don't think that. I think Rey's going to end up killing him.
You think Rey's going to kill him? Probably.
My one worry is like Palpatine comes back and you have this massive battle between the Republic and the First Order, and then Palpatine comes back. And this new fleet comes in out of fucking nowhere, and it turns into like the First Order and the Republic have to like join forces to fight.
No, I think
that would be terrible.
I think the First Order fleet is going to get just not wiped out. It's going to be like a massive battle, but it is going to be like the end of the
what's left of the First Order fleet? Because it got blooming hyperdrives.
Was that all of their fleet?
It doesn't know.
Exactly. This is my point.
That's the problem with these movies.
The thing that we do know is that at the end of The Last Jedi, that was all that was left of the Resistance. But for the First Order, we have literally no idea how big they were.
There was basically the remains of the Supremacy, right?
Yes.
Out of that fleet that was following, for some reason, in nice orderly fashion, without
very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly. Without like going, do you know what? Those ships are a little bit faster. You guys go forward and engage, because even if we lose you, we still have the Supremacy, and we just all we want is for them to expend more resources faster. That's what we need to do.
So yeah, and that's what I think they're gonna go with.
Yeah.
What I would like to happen is Rey fights Kylo. Kylo dies in the fight. Kylo also, when he dies, I do believe they're going to have him be like, I realize the error of my ways before I die.
And then dies.
And then dies. And that's when we're going to see Palpatine come out. Something's going to happen.
With that iconic laugh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I just want him to say fully operational battle station again. I absolutely love that line. The way he says it is just...
I mean, that'll wipe them out. All of them.
All of them. It's just... I love his like, fully operational battle station. God. I would listen to it. They're just so funny.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it would be literally... It would be jumping the shark if all of a sudden the remains of the Death Star...
The Death Star just powered up.
Like, somehow the dish is still is workable. It just goes... from fucking Endor.
Don't give them ideas, man. No, seriously.
The movie's out. They can't change anything now.
There's a week left. They can still do cuts. There's still time. But yeah, I think we are going to see, with them saying that this is the end. I think all the characters are in these movies. If we do see them again, it is literally going to be like bit parts.
Yeah.
Like in the next one, we're going to have our main cast, and there's this person called Rey who can use the Force.
Yeah.
She doesn't use the Force because she found out she found out something bad, but yeah, she can use the Force. Maybe she can teach you, and that's literally gonna be all Rey is in after that. And Finn and Rose, they're gonna put Finn and Rose together.
Yeah, I feel
that's fine.
Do you know what? I feel sorry for Finn because He hasn't. He had this one.
Finn's going to fight Captain Phasma again, and he is actually going to beat Captain Phasma this time.
Yeah, Captain Phasma is the pinnacle of cool bad guy that Star Wars didn't do anything with.
Captain Phasma has and should have died twice.
Yeah,
and I've got a feeling she's going to come back in this one.
Oh my god,
she's going to be back. She's not going to be dead.
How have they wasted such a talented actress?
I have no idea.
How she is awesome, and yet. Phasma does nothing. Anyway.
Hold on. She is BB-8's big kill. Alright?
Yes.
BB-8 kills her, not Finn. BB-8.
Yes.
She gets killed by a fucking droid. That's even worse than Boba Fett. Boba Fett at least gets taken out by Han Solo. Accidentally, but still gets taken out by Han Solo.
He gets taken out by one of the main protagonists.
Phasma gets killed by a droid.
Oh. That fight should have been Finn beating Phasma.
Yes,
because that would have
been closure for Finn.
Yeah, because Phasma is the representation of everything that Finn.
But we have
hates about his past.
So Finn's going to go up against Captain Phasma, or someone who is like Captain Phasma.
Finn's going to kill the snivelling arsehole.
Oh, the weapon person. Oh no, the leader.
Yeah.
Finn,
we're not seeing JK anymore. JK's gone.
Oh yeah, he's gone. He got his money. He's out of there. I love that bit.
Is it JK or TK?
I think it was TK.
TK. Oh yeah, because it stood for Trust No One. Yeah. TK. Yeah, we're not seeing.
I love that bit in the movie where it's like, oh look, even the Resistance are buying weapons from these people. No shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
Do you think we're all that dumb?
That was. I think the thing is like that little section of Last Jedi. It was shoved down your throat so forcefully. It basically poisoned the rest of the movie. Like that. And what's worse is like that scene, that part of the movie, did nothing to the plot.
It didn't even grow anybody as a character.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
It did nothing to the plot. I suppose it gave Rose a little bit of a backstory.
Not a very good one.
No, but it's still, but like in regards to like the overarching plot of that movie, it had no.
Hey, actually, you know what? We haven't even mentioned Rose.
Yeah.
In this entire thing, Rose is a character.
Yeah.
That's literally all I can give her.
I think the thing is like
she cries. There you go. That's her characteristic. She cries. I think she cries at least 4 times in The Last Jedi. She cried at the beginning, then she cries again when they get to the planet and see all those.
She releases all those animals.
All those animals. Then she cries again when they get to the base where they're going to, and then she cries again just after she saved Finn. And then passes out. I saved you because I loved you.
Considering the fact that I have not seen her in the trailers, I may have missed her. I'm worried that they're just going to literally.
I think she's in the trailer. I think she is in the trailer. I'm sure she's in the main group that's on.
I can't remember seeing her. That's the thing. And I'm worried. It's like, oh, so what happened to Rose? Oh, she died.
What happened to Rose? Wow, you'll never believe this. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to believe this. No, I think she's in the main group now. She's like a...
Oh, here's the thing, right? The one thing I didn't understand with Rose was like... She was like fully on board with like keeping orders with...
Not letting anybody get off the ship.
Right, okay. And I understand like her going, oh, well, there's a plan. This plan may work and going off the ship to get this sort of thing to get back and help and save everyone. I understood that. Why is she following the person responsible for her sister's death?
Actually, that's a good point.
Poe Dameron was the reason why her sister died, because he committed the forces to the bombing run after Leia told them, no, you need to get back. We need to go now. We need to get out now. Just get out, Because it's like... Right? And Poe ignores the order and commits everyone to this suicide attack. So why is Rose, who's clearly like, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, she's an emotional person.
Yeah.
She's She lets her emotions out, which is fine. You know, not a bad trait at all. And yet, she's perfectly fine following Poe Dameron's orders.
That's a good point. I never actually.
If I was in her shoes, I'd be wanting to strangle him.
I would want to kill him. I would want to send him out in an escape pod and leave him floating.
Yeah.
In space and be like, there you go. The First Order can have you. That's fine. You're clearly useless to us.
I mean, I've always wondered. Like, that's the one of the few things with Rosa that's like nodded away in my head is like, why is she doing this? What? That's the thing that I was like, why is she doing this?
Maybe.
Why is she fully agreeing
maybe
with
you
Poe?
could be like, because grief makes you do silly things.
Yeah,
so
possibly.
maybe you could maybe argue that is the reason.
Unless she doesn't know it was Poe that did it,
That's
but
possibly.
I think it was clearly obvious.
It's clearly obvious that Poe is the guy. That
with the interactions Poe has upon getting back on the ship, it's pretty obvious. Like, yeah, you're the one that's got us in this shit.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, it's not mentioned. It's like, yeah, it would have been nice if you'd brought the bloody fighters back and the bombers back, because then we may be able to do something about that giant spaceship there. Or at least, defend ourselves.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that could really? I think the big ones really are. They need to sort Rey out. Rey and Kylo. I think if they can get them because their story is really the big driving force of these three movies. So if they can get those two sorted, I think we'll be fine. A lot of the other questions, if I'm quite honest, because they haven't really done a lot about them, I don't care about them.
Question mark.
I do in a way, but at the same time,
the two major things that they need to sort out is Rey and
because it doesn't look like they put a lot of effort into those other things.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I should really care about.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you. I think the two things that really need to be like focused on and worked on and try and like explain is Rey and Kylo.
Yeah.
If they do that, it can fix a lot of the problems that are in the previous two movies. So I'm hoping they do that. I'm not, it's one of those where it's like I'm hopeful but not expecting.
I'm hoping this is just a good movie.
Yeah.
And doesn't have like.
I'm gonna set my expectations low and hope hope that I'm going to be.
I'm hoping
surprised.
that every character in this movie isn't stupid. That's my hope. Like, everybody is not an absolute moron.
Yeah.
In this movie, I mean, at least Luke Skywalker wasn't an idiot.
No.
At all.
And had a badass scene at the very end.
Had a badass scene at the end, although, like really, that's how Luke goes out.
Yeah.
Like, really, you couldn't have him just actually show up.
Yeah.
I mean, and just like hold him off.
I suppose he could have been like, well, I can't get there in time.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, like, my X-Wing's been in that water for quite a while. I highly doubt it's actually workable.
Did they take R2 with them?
Yeah.
So R2 went to where Luke is?
I'm pretty sure he was on the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, he was. R2 was on the Millennium...
Didn't they could have done a big thing. Because R2's his droid!
Yes. I'm pretty sure R2, he did bump into R2, but they had a little scene, but they
could have made that a bigger thing.
Yeah, they could have done, but they didn't.
No, they had to focus. It's not BB-8, so
they had to focus on the other merchandise.
BB-8 is the new droid.
Yes.
So R2-D2, sorry mate, you're gone.
Nobody
cares about you.
One final tangent. Do you remember the big deal they made out of that black BB-8 unit?
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
And he was in one scene.
He's in one scene, and he doesn't really do anything other than be like, "Hey, hold on." But literally, his line is, "Hey, hold on."
Yeah, and then shows up when they get
not
captured.
Right? Yeah.
Shows up when they get captured. And it's like, that's it. And they made such a big deal out of it. And like, it's on the same level as making such a big deal out of Captain Marvel being in the Avengers Endgame.
Only for it to get
literally punched out of the movie by Thanos.
Yeah, I think we should end it there.
Yeah.
So, I'm expecting something good.
I'm hopeful.
I'm thinking, you can't have a movie that's so stupid like that and not like have come back with a better movie.
Yeah.
Like you can't do
Look, I know there's going to be scenes in it that I like because I like giant space battles. I like giant spaceships blowing up other giant spaceships. So there's going to be at least one scene that will make me happy.
The last movie had that. Were you happy with those scenes?
No, because that wasn't giant spaceships blowing up other giant spaceships. That was
a giant.
Clearly, atmospheric fighters fighting in space. Atmospheric bombers acting like they were in the atmosphere, bombing a spaceship.
Yeah. I still don't understand how those bombs work.
I know. Don't ask.
You let them out of the thing, and then gravity. There's no gravity.
Well,
so
no. The thing is, though, right, because of the way they
just like
no. They wouldn't float. What they would do is they'd fall backwards because that's where the fucking planet is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, this has gone on way too long. This has been much longer than I anticipated. Really. But I do feel like we've got at least some of our points across.
I hope so.
I think. Again, we're not ragging on Star Wars. We generally like. Well, you especially like Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is fantastic.
I tolerate it.
I
tolerate. No, I like Star Wars.
Yeah. But look, Rey's character is not specifically a bad character. It's like I say.
No, she's not a bad character. She's not a good character. She doesn't have a character. That's her problem.
And like I say, the problem is that these movies have done a terrible job of explaining the situation and why things are being the way they are. They've done a very bad job of it. Hopefully that this movie, it's not going to fix everything. It can't. It's an impossibility. But it will. And I don't want to say everyone. I've not gone on about the hyperspace. Suicide.
I don't want to go on.
Well, no, because I saw no problem with that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because
you don't see a problem, and I don't care.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, interdicted cruises are there for a reason. I mean, they stop ships going into hyperspace.
But anyway.
So
anyway. We're going to wrap up. We're going to go see the movie.
Yep.
And then after we've seen the movie, probably the day after, we will do another chat.
Yes.
And say what we thought about the movie.
Yes, it probably won't be as long as this. Because
no, it will not be as long as this.
Unless
the movie is really, really bad, or it absolutely blows our mind.
Yeah.
Like, but I can see. I don't think it's going to be. I reckon it's going to be a meh.
I don't think it's going to be absolutely terrible, but I don't think it's going to be. It's not going to be the best film of the franchise. It's not going to be anywhere near.
Like I said, what I'm hoping for there is this sets up the next lot of movies.
It probably will do.
Because they've already said that they want to do loads of Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
They're already doing
I think they said they want to do a Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah, but
and
they changed that after Solo.
After the Solo movie, they realised, actually, no, we need to actually put some time into these things.
Yeah. Also, they realised that, people are getting fatigued of Star Wars. So, see... it's now, I think it's every 2, maybe 3 years now.
Yeah, but the difference between Star Wars and like Marvel movies is that Marvel movies are different because they're not all just Avengers. They're not all just Spider-Man. There's some are Spider-Mans, some are Wasp. Because of
the vast amount of characters that Marvel have, you can have different movies.
Yeah, you can have different movies, and some movies will follow different beats to others. It's like the Black Widow movie coming.
Yeah,
is going to be different compared to Spider-Man Homecoming or Far From Home. It's going to be basically a different movie, which is why they're not getting that fatigue. But Star Wars, because it's been a Star Wars movie after a Star Wars movie after a Star Wars movie after a Star Wars movie, that fatigue is settling. Especially Solo was like 6 months.
I think they've hit the jackpot though with the TV series.
Yeah,
because that's really more like, well, if you really, really like Star Wars, there's this for you. But if all you're interested in the movies, then just watch the movies.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough for today.
I have been Mr. Maxwell. You have been Exilemagpie. You have been the people who are not watching this video. Thank you very much, and I do hope you enjoy it.
And also, put your theories. Actually, I would really like other people's theories on Rey.
Pop your theories down on Rey.
Yeah, on Rey. Not like, she can't be. If she's not a Mary Sue, explain why you think she's been able to do what she can.
Yeah, but
a valid reason.
Put out a theory of why Rey is the way she is. Let's see if we can do better than Disney.
And if I'm right, I am going to be calling out that I called that shit if I
You're going to do the I called that shit dance.
Not the dance. I can't dance.
Oh.
But I am going to say that I called that shit.
Are you going to do the jig then? Everybody can jig.
Yeah, probably. I
No,
mean, there's
I
no
called that shit.
I mean, there's no camera to prove or disprove that I actually did the dance or jig
That's very
anyway.
true.
So
But yeah. So.
a little bit longer than expected.
Very much longer than I expected. Hopefully, if you guys go see the movie, hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. But we'll see you in the next video, which will probably after we've seen
Star Wars,
because this is what I'm going to be doing pretty much from now on. Is just chats and stuff. Let's play
with the odd Let's Play, which will probably include me.
Yes. Yeah. This hopefully this is what the format that I'm going to be starting doing. I do want to do this maybe like once a week sort of deal. So there you go. Anyway, let's just say bye.
Toodles, everyone.
Bye now.
Sorry for the video.
Yeah.